My mother was an alcoholic. My father was shell-shocked, suffering from PTSD. My mother was in prison. Um, so the state decided to take my siblings and I away from my mother, and they put 5 of my siblings in an orphanage. My older sister and I went to live with my grandmother. I became a rape victim, a rape survivor. I became pregnant from the rape, and I carried my son for 9 months. But prior to that, when the state found out that I was pregnant, they coerced my grandmother into signing a paper to have me sterilized. So the social worker took the papers to Raleigh, North Carolina, to the Eugenics Board in North Carolina, where they agreed that I should become sterilized. They just said that I was feeble-minded, and by my being feeble-minded, they suggest sterilization. They brought my son here by cesarean birth, and while they had me opened up, after giving birth to my son, they did that. They sterilized me at the same time. I didn't know that I was sterilized. All I know is that I was told that I fell into a coma. 14 years old. I fell into a coma. I woke up a week later to find my stomach bandaged. I didn't even know, had no idea why the bandage was there until I was 19 years old. 5 years later, I get married and I wanted to start a family. Go to the doctor. Before I got married, all I knew is that I was constantly sick, constantly hemorrhaging. This is dealing with my hormones, constantly passing out, constantly being hospitalized. They had butchered me. That's the word the doctor used. The doctor said I was butchered. So when I found that out, I tried to fix it because, it's something that I thought I could fix. I couldn't fix it. And from then on, I decided to sue the state of North Carolina for $1 million. And North Carolina, when we went to court, North Carolina said that they didn't violate my civil liberties. They said that, which I couldn't understand. Why would they say I'm a human being? You sterilized me. You took away my reproductive health. Why would you say that you didn't violate me? Well, once the state of North Carolina dismissed my case, I went as far as the United States Supreme Court. The United States Supreme Court refused to hear my case. And that made me feel bad. So anyway, years go by and years go by. So I was actually contacted by this journalist, John Rayleigh, and Representative Larry Wumble in 2002. So they asked for an interview, and I gave them the interview. And from there, things just started taking off. We got the state legislators board to every meeting they had to meet with us and to figure out what they was going to say. They decided to create a task force to see if North Carolina had violated me. And the task force came back and said yes. As far as compensation, first they said $10,000 a piece. $10,000, this is all I'm worth. And then they came up with another figure, $25,000, no way. And then they came up with another figure, a third figure, which was $50,000. And what I told them is that no amount of money could fix me. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the apology. It was the principle and what you did to me and what I had to live with all of my life. I had to have a cycle. And like I said, I wasn't able to wear a tampon or a sanitary napkin. I had to wear the big towels, because that's how much I bled. So it wasn't about the amounts of money. It was the idea that you could violate my human rights like this. You could violate a person, a child, that had no idea what was going on. I should not have been punished for the crimes of my parents. How I felt was that we could have such evil people in the world that could even do another human being like this. These are evil people that cares nothing about human dignity or human life. The more I learn about eugenics, the more I am unhappy with what they did or with their science or with their racism. North Carolina itself sterilized 7,600 people. Little boys and girls, 6, 7, 8, and 9 years old, 1 5-year-old. There's 32 states within the United States that sterilize its citizens. 32. My hope is to make sure that other children this don't happen to other children. And that's why I want to open up the Elaine Riddick Sanctuary Shelter. And I want to do that. I am a human rights activist, but I'm a people person first. And that's not for children, it's for all people. It's not for color, race, have nothing to do with it. I want to work with the classes of people that need me.